I mean, first, thank you for having us. It's really quite a courageous idea to invite us. We're going to make an exhibition. We send objects from our Wunderkammer from the Green Wall to a small museum in the northern part of Canada on the west coast to a First Nation community. And we receive Potlatch objects, Potlatch in Dresden. Corrine, are you Potlatching?
Yes, I am. Is it on?
This is not working.
Hello? Hello? Yes, I'm Potlatching.
So you're Potlatching?
Yes. Yeah.
This is Corrine. Corrine Hunt is an anthropologist, artist, designer, and by the way, she's the one who designed the gold medal of the Olympic Games in Vancouver. And being from a First Nation yourself, Corrine, could you say in 30 seconds what's the Potlatch?
The Potlatch is a ceremony that we have. It's a traditional ceremony for thousands of years, and we pass on our names. We have pass on the loved ones that have gone. We honor them. Our dances, our songs, everything is given at the Potlatch, and it takes about 2 days.
So Potlatch is something, and that's the reason why you invited us. You say it's something where you give and take in an ongoing process. So you give objects and you take objects, you give ideas and you take ideas. That's the basic moment?
Yes, it's a sharing of the wealth of the culture. Yeah.
So it's also the sharing of the economy of the tribe, of the village where you are?
Yes. In ancient times, we shared our food. So at a potlatch, you would give food or whatever the wealth is. But most importantly, our culture was shared. So everybody in our tribe has to be given a name, and the name has to be given at a potlatch.
So it's very important that to be part of the potlatch, of that exchange, you have to have a name first.
Yes. Yeah.
And how is the name given? How do you get that name?
The name is given from for example, my name is Glathleglis. It was given from my grandmother. So everybody's name comes from something. It has a history.
And tell us, I mean, you said it's about living masks, living symbols, but there is also a kind of daily life experience. Could you tell us something about the copper that you give, so that you exchange those copper blades and somebody is part of that system?
Okay, the wealth of the culture is about this potlatch system that would take maybe 2 years to plan a potlatch. There may be 1,000 visitors who are witnesses to these events. And this copper shield is really significant. It's what your family owns. It tells the wealth of the family. And at the potlatch, you can break a piece of this copper off and you give it to another chief. And that actually adds to the wealth of that object.
Is it, I mean, if we talk about a kind of social network and everybody is equal in that network, does it mean that in the end the society is more equal, that you flattened the society?
Well, I think it's meant to. It's still a hierarchical society, but the wealth is distributed for sure. Everybody that comes to the potlatch is given something, and it's shared. Yeah.
We talk, I mean, it's said that it's an archaic system, but it's still going on today. And as far as I understand, it's even more in fashion somehow today, or it's more like of a part of the contemporary society. So there are a lot of potlatches.
Yes, the potlatch was actually banned by the Canadian government for 50 years, and masks and people were imprisoned for performing this. But it still thrived. People did it, you know, in their villages, and they hid from the police. But it is thriving today, and part of that is the social media. You know, where we call it the potlatch trail. You know, we know who's going to have a potlatch and when it's going to be, and people talk about it, you know, quite often with the songs that were sung at the potlatch. So through Facebook, on YouTube, you can see dances and people talking about, you know, what a wonderful weekend that was, where we were given these names and shared this.
Corrine, even if this is not connected to the social network today, but I learned from you that the First Nations, the tribes, are very, very good in Facebook, users of Facebook and YouTube and so on. Is that true?
Yes.
This is because they are in remote places and they try to connect, that's the basic idea, or is it more to share the information?
Right, yeah, we come from small villages, it's coastal communities, so it's difficult to travel. So the Facebook has really given it a new life. You can share so many things, of course, and it seems that everybody knows how to use a computer. Every generation is able to do it, to access this. And as well, the languages on the internet. You can go to First Voices and learn something about this ancient language that is very difficult to learn, but it's there. It's on the internet.
I mean, is it true that, or more, the question is more, how is it true that if we find whatever evidence for it, that the language, which is only spoken for a few people, and I mean the whole Potlatch system, survived somehow because of the internet, because of the exchange of information, because of YouTube? I mean, is there a relation that you give the tradition, I mean, in the internet to the next generation, to the next tribe?
Yeah, there's our language was also banned. It was if you spoke the language, you were punished. So it's very difficult to have had continued this culture and this ceremony, the potlatch. So on the internet, kids can go on there, they can learn songs, and they do. You know, I come from a small village of 600 people, and they have in their schools Mac computers. And, you know, they learn, you know, like we would sitting here, but they also learn from tapes and from the internet. So I think the next step for us, it's really important to be able to share this with the social media, for the culture to have access to that, for people who wouldn't normally be able to travel 200 miles to a potlatch to access information about it.
On the social media where we make it.
Yeah.
We call our cooperation, we call our project the power of giving, which I think is pretty much true. There is a certain kind of power of that you give just object away, and you receive social respectations, hierarchy, things like that. I mean, this is something that we compare in our traditional society here in Europe, where we have protocol gifts, donations, and so on, with your system, with your political background. Is giving something away something that is part of the social network and maybe even a kind of social reaction for the future in this wild-going capitalism?
Yes, I think so. I mean, of course, you know, we're human. So, but the potlatch is a whole system of giving. It's not giving just gifts, it's not just giving names, but it's giving your time. You know, it's sharing, it's volunteering, it's saying, what can I do to help you? Can I make sandwiches? Can I help with food? Can I, you know, help build a fire? All of those things. They're of big importance. And I think through the social media, people have an easier time managing those things, you know, to bring in people. And I think it's quite helpful, and it's a good message, you know, to share these things.
Okay, so for those who have more interest and you want to see that, not only in YouTube and whatever, on Facebook or whatever, you come to Dresden and see that exhibition starting in April, or come to the northern part of Vancouver Island. It's called Allard Bay. It's a very small island with a beautiful small museum where we're going to have beautiful objects from the Green Wall and the Armory in Dresden, and vice versa, those beautiful potlatch masks in the museums in Dresden. And don't be surprised if you enter the museums and there are huge piles of washing machines and mobile phones and whatever, because this is something you give away during the potlatch. So today it's not only a ritual, you really give away original objects, are you?
Yes, I'm sure if we could, we would give away iPads and shuffles and everything. Everybody would be pretty excited about that. But in the old times, we gave away sewing machines and.
So again, you are invited. Come to Dresden starting in April or Vancouver Island in May. Thank you so much.